on Premier FM 100.5, Sky Power FM 93.5, and Beach FM 105.5, all in Takrady, Bono Region Greener FM 95.9 in Sunyani, Ashanti Region Orange FM 107.9 in Kumasi. The news is also live around the world on citinewsroom.com. I'm Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Coming up this hour, Accra High Court dismisses application to halt a Dubois trial pending appeal. Meanwhile, the third accused person, Mildred Donko, has been discharged. Also coming up, trial of the National Service Authority scandal involving the former Director General Osei Entry and his deputy Gifty Owari Mensah to commence today. We are live from the courts this afternoon. Still ahead, National Peace Council engages indigents of Boko in Ashanti region in a bid to prevent spillover of the conflict.
That unity, that oneness, that public demonstration of oneness, so that it will stretch, and touch the different regions and bring peace to Boko.
And later, over 12 excavators and Changfan machines seized in eastern and western regions in the joint operations carried out by the Blue Water Guard and National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat.
For excavators, got about 12 of them. Motorbikes, we picked about 5 motorbikes, 4 excavator batteries, some computer monitors.
All that and more on City Prime News, which is also live in the Volta region on Holy FM 98.5 in Aplao, Northern region Dasuma FM 99.1 in Yendi, Upper East Word FM 88.3 in Zwarungu, Mike FM 105.3 in Navrongo, Upper West we are live on Bugli Radio 88.6 in Wa.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Grateful for choosing us, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources says joint operations by the Blue Water Guard and the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS, have led to the seizure of more than 12 excavators and several Changfan machines in the eastern and western regions. The equipment was confiscated from illegal mining site operating in water bodies and forest reserves. Director of Communications at the Ministry, Ama Mausi, says the exercise forms part of efforts to clamp down on illegal mining and protect the country's natural resources.
Around the Old Green area. For excavators, we've got about 12 of them. Motorbikes, we've picked about 5 motorbikes, 4 excavator batteries, some computer monitors, heavy duty water pumps, 2 of them, several fuel drums. And last week, the minister had mentioned the issue of the fuel drums, and it's a conversation that we are having with the NPA on how to tackle this fuel trade that is also, I'm going to use the word again, fueling the illegal mining activities. Multiple makeshift structures, because usually they set up these campsites there. So if you saw from the videos, lots of makeshift structures which were destroyed. 24 pumping machines, 20 Changfans, almost all of them were bent. Actually, all of them were bent. And then other tools, boards, equipment, and things like that were all found and destroyed. So basically, this is the activities that we have, the team undertook in the course of the week, focusing on the 2 pillars within our strategy.
Director of Communications at the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, Ama Mausi. Health authorities in Ghana are monitoring a rise in seasonal influenza cases reported across multiple regions, including the Greater Accra, Ashanti, and Northern regions. The Ghana Health Service has confirmed a noticeable increase in flu-related symptoms such as fever, cough, sore throat, and fatigue. The outbreak, which began earlier this month, has led to a higher than usual number of patients seeking care at hospitals and clinics. Addressing the press, Health Minister Kwabena Minta-Kanda said the ministry is ramping up public education efforts to help control the number of cases.
It's unfortunate, but it's normal, it's seasonal, as you have indicated. And so around the cooler months, we get some of these outbreaks. And so at the moment, Ministry of Health through Ghana Health Service, they are coordinating with the various schools. It's very pronounced at where there's overcrowding. And so we are providing hand sanitizers. We are sensitizing people as and when you feel your throat is itching you are feverish and all that, you report to the nearest hospital. So the Ghana Health Service is collaborating with areas that we have detected this, flu and monitoring. So far, we don't have any critically ill person who has been admitted, and so we are on top of it. There's no cause for alarm.
Kwabena Mintakando is Health Minister. Minister for Energy and Green Transition John Abdullahi Jinapor says it is both urgent and essential for Ghana to invest significantly in the Volta River Authority to expand and improve its operations. According to the minister, the government spends approximately $840 million yearly procuring power from independent power producers to supplement power generation capacity. Speaking during a working visit to the Volta River Authority in Accra, the Minister for Energy and Green Transition, John Abdullahi Jinapor, outlined the urgent need for investment in the Volta River Authority to acquire additional plants.
That is supplied to anchor the economy. And look at what Akosombo and Pong has done. And I was telling your chief executive that my experience with the IPPs has shown me that we have to invest heavily in VRA. And today, look at how much we pay to IPPs every month. We were taking a bold decision and decided, look, the tariffs we are charging today, let's escrow those amounts into an account. We're talking about 70 million every month, US dollars. That is on the back of the envelope, 700, 140, $840 million every year, not cities, times the number of years the IPPs have been operating. Don't you think that if we had escrowed this money, we would have built more thermal plants at PRA and sell the power at a cheaper price? And the reality is that sometimes we all pretend. So when we have VRA, we say that don't charge tariffs because it's VRA. So we pretend.
The Minister for Energy and Green Transition further disclosed that the government has saved approximately $300 million through renegotiations with independent power producers, a move he says will help protect the energy sector.
And so far, what the IPP renegotiating team has done tells me that we are saving about $300 million from the IPPs. The previous administration did their bit. We've also come to improve on it, and that is what we ought to be doing. It's not always about politics. Let's sometimes put the nation's interest first. If we do it for Ghana. And so I don't care your political affiliation as you sit here. In 4 years' time, you will determine what happens. But before the 4 years, let's put VRA first, let's put Ghana first, and let's work and turn around this sector. This year's budget is giving us $28 billion, not for investments, but to pay energy sector shortfalls. If it continues like that, next year will be $35 billion. If we don't stop it, what it means is that eventually, energy sector shortfalls alone will consume the whole budget, and it's not sustainable. So I've been working with the team aggressively to turn around that unfortunate scenario so that eventually we can win the energy sector of the national budget. And from what we are paying, from the revenues we are generating, from the improvements that we are making, I can see that there's light at the end of the tunnel, even though there's more to be done.
That was the Minister for Energy and Green Transition, John Abdullahi Jinapor. President John Dramani Mahama says he's unapologetic about his recent speech at the United Nations General Assembly in New York. In that address, he criticized the global order and the treatment of Africa at the UN. Speaking to Ghanaian YouTuber Udemaya on the sidelines of the Global Conference for Women in China, President Mahama said Africa must be given its due.
When you speak from the heart, that's how it comes across. And so you need to put your thoughts into your speech and own the speech, and that is what I did. I crafted it, and I meant every word in there. I talked about reparations. I talked about the global system and how it is changing and how it has been unjust to Africans. And in any new global order that succeeds it, there must be justice and equity for Africa, including having an equal say, in international global institutions like the United Nations, the World Health Organization, the multilateral financial institutions, the IMF, the World Bank, and all that. Africa must have a greater say in all these institutions. Aside from that, the current world order is rigged against Africa. And so if you look at the colonial patterns of trade that were established by our colonial masters, they are the same patterns of trade. And railways lead to only where there are resources, and they lead from there to the ports in order to extract those resources and export them to other destinations. We continue to live as colonial slaves. Let me call it neo-colonial slaves, because we have a flag and we have independence, but still the system is.
He heard President Mahama there. Now the government is finalizing a memorandum of understanding with Grenada to waive visa requirements for both countries. President Mahama announced this during a courtesy visit by the Prime Minister of Grenada, Dickon Thomas Mitchell. Speaking at the meeting, President Mahama stated that the initiative aims to promote ease of travel and bilateral relations by enabling visa-free visits between the two countries. We bring you that insert shortly. This is still the City Prime News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are live from our studios in Adabraka in Accra. The news is also live in the Western region on Premier FM, Sky Power FM and Beach FM, all in Takrady. Bono region, Greener FM. Ashanti region, Orange FM. Volta region, we are live on Holy FM. Northern region, Dasuma FM. Upper East, we are live on Word FM in Zwarungu and Mike FM in Navrongo. And Upper West, we are live on Bugli Radio in Wa. Still ahead, over 12 excavators and Chanfan machines seized in eastern and western regions in a joint operation carried out by Blue Water Guards and National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat. We have details of that, plus other stories coming up shortly. Please stay with us.
City Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah.
The winning season is back, but this time I am collecting the wins like jollof at a wedding. The luckiest season 3 is here. Your chance to flip your luck, or maybe your bank account too.
2 easy ways to join. Dial *712#. Hit 1 to buy for you, or 2 to gift a friend. Feeling lucky? Pick 1 for a random number, or hit 2 to choose your own. Pay with mobile money. Done. You're in.
Or go to the luckiestafrica.com, click community tickets, choose your number, or let the system do so for you. You can buy a ticket for your boo or your favorite barber. Pay with Momo or card if you are abroad.
1 ticket could turn your 1 Ghana cedi into 500 times more. And the whole community could win 10 times over.
Dial *712# or log on.
Let's get lucky together, because luck is everywhere.
Play responsibly, not for persons under 18 years. This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
This October, Northern Ghana takes center stage. Get ready for the Northern Business Fair 2025, the ultimate one-stop shop for everything made in Ghana in the Savannah, Northern, Northeast, Upper East, and Upper West regions. From hand-woven smocks and intricate crafts to modern manufacturing, innovative packaging of made-in-Ghana products, and thriving homegrown businesses, it's a vibrant celebration of talent, innovation, and authenticity. Brought to you by Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM, it's the biggest trade fair showcasing Kenyan SMEs, startups, research bodies, and indigenous brands making waves across the nation. It's happening on Saturday the 25th and Sunday the 26th of October 2025 at the Tamale Sports Stadium. The time is 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. Want to exhibit? Call 0205-973-973 today and book your space. Don't just hear about it, see it, experience it, and live it. The Northern Business Fair, your market, your connections, your growth. The Northern Business Fair 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV and 97.3 Citi FM and is proudly sponsored by EcoBank, Side Hustle, the Ghana Enterprises Agency, the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, and supported by Cackstone Records.
Citi Brand News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Thank you for staying with us. The High Court in Accra has dismissed an application filed by lawyers for former Director General of the National Signals Bureau, Kabna Edu Boahin, seeking to halt his criminal trial pending the outcome of an appeal. Counsel for Mr. Edu Boahin had urged the court to stay proceedings until the Court of Appeal determines their challenge to an earlier ruling that partially dismissed a request for further disclosures made on behalf of the first and second accused persons in the ongoing trial. Let's go live to the High Court and speak to my colleague Charles Osukumi. Charles, thank you for your time. What more can you report with regards to the case involving the former Director General of the NSB?
Well, that particular trial is currently being adjourned for an hour. This is following the section of the prosecution that was of the witness that was called by the prosecution. Now, earlier in the day, the judge also dismissed an application that had been filed by the lawyers for Cabinet for the court. It's not an appeal that they already filed with the Court of Appeal. Now we know that in the course of this trial, the Cabinet lawyer had filed an application demanding the full disclosures of some documents. Now, when they filed that application, the judge dismissed that application, and then following that, they went to the Court of Appeal to appeal the ruling of the judge. So this application that we had filed recently was for the court to stay the proceedings pending the determination by the Court of Appeal. However, the judge dismissed that application today and said that the trial could go on. And then when the trial went on, before we came to court today, even yesterday, we have seen in the media a notice from the Attorney General's office withdrawing prosecution against the third accused in this very matter, which is Mildred Donko. I personally raised some objections that if they were going to make this kind of thing to the charge fee, we should come by a motion and not by notice. So, the judge had arguments from both sides, but he did rule that, well, the Attorney General has been given the mandate to prosecute, and therefore, if the Attorney General wants to withdraw prosecution, he doesn't necessarily need the permission of the court, and he can decide to do so. So he also ruled against that objection that Akatia, which is lawyer for the first accused, raised, and subsequent to that, the judge dismissed the judge just discharged, I should say, discharged the third accused, which is Mildred Donko, and ordered that all the records be expunged from the records of the court. Like I said, just about an hour ago, there was the first prosecution witness that had been called into the witness box, and the processes were ongoing before the judge then asked that we adjourn for like an hour and then return. He said that he's dedicating the entire day to this particular case, and so this I will be here for a while.
Very well. Before you go, we understand the trial of the former NSA Director General and his deputy is also expected to commence today. Has that started yet?
Well, that had been advertised, but we also know that the Deputy Attorney General, Justice Shemsai, is the same person prosecute both cases. Is the one prosecuting the Edubwine case, leading prosecution for that, and leading prosecution for case involving the former National Service Authority board and deputy. So he is leading today's proceedings for the Edubwine matter, and we don't know if he's going to finish with that before he goes on to the other. But as it stands, we are not aware if that case for the NSS bosses will go ahead as planned today.
Very well, grateful for your time. We'll come back to you subsequently when you have more from the court. That was my colleague Charles Owusukumi. Away from that, Ghanaian medical students in Cuba once again appealing to the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat to urgently release their long overdue stipend. The students say they have not received their stipend for the past 18 months, while their book allowance has been withheld for 5 years. They note that the prolonged delay is severely affecting both their academic work and daily survival. Despite several appeals, they claim there has not been response or action from the National Scholarship Secretariat. Samuel Asante, one of the affected students, in an interview with Citi News, called on government authorities to intervene immediately to prevent further deterioration of their academic and mental well-being.
Need to ask the Ghana Scholarship Secretary to find out the reason why there has been a delay with sending money to the students here in Cuba, because the situation here is very difficult, and like we all know, Cuba itself is facing serious economic crisis due to the embargo US has placed on them. And ever since Trump took power, the situation here has really worsened. I can't even begin to say it word for word as to how it's, affecting our lives, because it's very unimaginable. Can't afford basic necessities such as food, soap, sanitaries, and many others. We are trapped in a system where we are expected to study, survive, and succeed academically, but without any means to sustain ourselves. We feel abandoned and left. It's like we've been left on the desert just to survive by ourselves. We are now forced to hide before attending our clinical duties just to avoid humiliation of facing those we owe. Or we are not asking for luxury, but we just want the bare minimum just to survive and focus peacefully on our studies and return home to serve our motherland as doctors.
Aggrieved Ghanaian medical student in Cuba, Samuel Asante. The aggrieved newly posted teachers group has welcomed the education minister's announcement that outstanding salary arrears will be paid by the end of November. The group, made up of graduates from colleges of education and universities, had earlier raised concerns that many of its members had gone unpaid for 12 and 18 months respectively. The Ministry of Education on Wednesday assured the affected teachers that payment will be made soon following Cabinet's approval. Speaking to Citi News, lead convener Simon Kofi Nate expressed optimism that staff IDs will also be issued at the end of the month to ensure that all affected teachers are fully eligible for payment in November.
This has been the best news for us, especially the affected ones, and even our families at large. Because all along, this is what we've been yearning for. This is what we fought for. And like Paul rightly said in the Bible, we fought a good fight, and it is time for us to be rewarded. So it came at the right time, and it has been the best news so far. For the time being, we are looking at the ending of this month to receive our staff IDs. That is, those of us without the staff IDs. We want to believe that management, the GES, and then the ministry are going to fast track every process that they have to do to ensure that about over 500 of us without the staff IDs will get our staff IDs. And I think when that comes in, then we'll be fully assured that yes, they've taken a step, and then we are closer to receiving our money.
Simon Kofi Nate is lead convener for aggrieved newly posted teachers. The National Peace Council is stepping up engagement with indigents from Boko currently residing in the Ashanti region to encourage peaceful coexistence between the Kusasis and Mampusi factions. The move is part of efforts to avert a possible spillover of the long-standing conflict between the two groups. The council also brought together a women's group from both sides to sensitize them on the need to foster peace. Former chairperson of the National Peace Council, Emmanuel Asante, pledged the council's support to help bring lasting peace to the Boko conflict.
For us to demonstrate together that they are one, I do believe that is going to do a lot of things for the Boko Peace Initiative. Other women in different regions will also take a cue from what they are doing, and they will then follow. So for me, this is very, very, very crucial, and I'm praying that it will not just be a day's wonder, that the zeal with which they have spoken and the commitments they have made, we will be able to push it further for us to see that unity, that oneness, that public demonstration of oneness, so that it will stretch, and touch the different regions and bring peace to Boko.
Most Reverend Emmanuel Asante also condemned the politicization of issues that continue to fuel the Boko conflict.
The political element is a big problem, and I'm hoping that our politicians will stay away from, exploiting such situations to enhance their own party ego, if I may put it that way. Let the politicians understand that the peace of any part of this country redounds to the well-being and to the development of our nation. And therefore, let's not exploit such situations secretly just because we want to be in power or we want to gain power or whatever it is. We are one people and we should not destroy ourselves.
Former chairperson of the National Peace Council, Most Reverend Emmanuel Asante. Now, Kennedy Ejapon, a flag-bearer aspirant of the New Patriotic Party, is urging party delegate to elect a businessman to lead the country, arguing that Ghana has tried leaders from other professions, including economists and lawyers, with little progress. Speaking during his campaign tour in Wa in the Upper West region, he said his business experience gives him the skills to transform the economy. He appealed to delegates to give him the mandate to lead the party into the 2028 elections.
We are going to build fertilizer plant in our northern region. If you say, "Usha sasi daha," any new man you bet me the assassin ya. Do we have political leaders here? Do we have political leaders here? Mutraye, MPP ba more vice president, NDC ba more president. As we be just more president, more vice president. Usha ahokyerɛ ɛne nneɛma a yɛntumi nyɛ wɔ ha. This time mesrɛ mo nsesa mo nsa mo. Yɛatra politicians a wɔn yɛ economists, wɔn yɛ lawyers, wɔn yɛ degrees bebree. This time yɛntry a businessman. Yɛntry a businessman. Na yɛnhwɛ. Kɛtea ɛnɛ wokɔ Kutonu, Benin. President in Baya or business, I did about people who see cotton industry.
Kennedy Ohene Ejapon is a flag-bearer aspirant of the New Patriotic Party. Let's now touch base with the camp of Dr. Baumia. They are currently in the Kintampo South constituency of the Bono East region. My colleague Hansen Ajiman is with the team and joins us live. Hansen, what can you tell us about Dr. Baumia's tour of the Bono East region so far?
So today is day 3 of Dr. Baumia's campaign. He's in Kintampo South. Later, he'll be visiting in Kranza South and in Kranza North. Dr. Baumia has been making the argument that if you look at electoral figures in Ghana, consistency is key, and if the NPP wants to win power in 2028, he is the surest best for a victory in 2028. Again, delegates are saying that Dr. Baumia represents the tradition of the party because someone from the Danka tradition has been present, another from Fuzia has been present, and so there's no time for the party to make someone from the Dumbo tradition to be president.
Very well, Hansen, thank you for your time. We'll come back to you subsequently for more from the Dr. Baumia's camp, which is currently in the Bono East region. But that's how we wrap up today's edition of the City Prime News, which has been live from our studios in Adabraka in Accra. Please log on to citynewsroom.com for more stories. I'm Hawa Idrisu Mustafa. Have a great weekend.
City News. We speak first.